Hello everyone. This is a eight experiment in our Python lab. So basically, I am Bhargav Mahajan from third year Information Technology department. So the eight experiment of a Python lab is based on clustering algo. So yeah, so let's start. So we are clustering algo is basically k-means algo we are using. Not knn is also there, but in this experiment we will be using k-means. K-means is basically we plot centroids. We have to define the number of centroids that we want, and according to that we classify the points. And first, these centroids are distributed evenly, randomly but evenly. And then as we classify data, the centroid points move. There is a method that later on there is a elbow method which tells us how many centroid are good for for particular data set. So we use elbow method for that. So basically, this is the elbow method. When the elbow method become flatter, flatter, that means when model converges, basically that way we have to stop. So here better would be, I think, phi. After phi the really tends to flatten. So yeah, phi would be great for this data set. But let's see what's the code. So we import k-means from clustering algos. So sklearn.cluster, we import k-means from pre-processing with mean max scalar. The mean max scalar is basically used for normalization for the value. Like every data point is divided by the maximum data point in the particular column. So I'll come to this point back downside. So let's start. So we use country data set, like the child expectancy in the country, GDP, based on GDP of the country, import export, the amount of money goes in and out. This is the data set about that. So df dot shape it total 167 rows and 10 columns. The correlation, we talked about correlation earlier also. Like negative one is negative correlation to positive one, that is positive correlation. So here input, I have taken input, and so therefore input and income, it is positive correlation 0 to 1. So we are doing clustering. So yeah, so it's still important. Let's see. So basically this is a import 44 point. Yeah, so basically x-axis it is import and y-axis is it is income. Now k-means clustering, I have initially took 4 cluster. Let's see. So k-means is equal to k-means a model. We have predict basically df imports and explode, and y predicted. So this is what is predict, like which data point is in which cluster. So like this data point is 0 cluster, this is in 3. So like 0 1 2 3 are our 4 clusters. So this predicted we made into another column. Like it was an unsupervised data set, right? We haven't given basically clustering is all about unsupervised learning. So once our model knew which cluster it has, then we append that to the column of we append that as a append that data to our original data set. So here we appended cluster, df cluster is a new column, and y predict to pass on this array values. So basically we got the 0 3 0 0. Now we have label basically. So these are all features and this is label. Now df cluster dot unique. So whenever now when we put new data, we already know to classify which cluster it has become. So yeah, cluster dot unique, we know that 0 3 1 2 are unique data points, only 4 cluster. Cluster dot center is this is the center of a cluster. So like here, like this point, this point these points, these point references in our plot, x-axis and y-axis. So this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate basically. So to plot this and to give color to each cluster basically, I think there would be only 3 cluster because this cluster data is not really present. uh, yeah, it is present. Now this is another data set. I have to check. So yeah, income export. So here df1 is equal to df cluster is equal to 1. So all the data, all the data point that a cluster is equal to 0 is in this data frame, cluster is equal to 1 in this, and cluster is equal to 2 in this data frame. uh, I think this is little bit a wrong code, but let's see. Let's go on to next one first. Min max scalar, like yeah, the scaling also depends. Like see here the values are 0 to 175 and here it is 0 to 1 lakh 20,000. So earlier I talked about min max scalar. So I think I have corrected this error down in the notebook. So min max scalar, I told earlier, it divide all the data point by the maximum data point in that column. Df dot head. Now the income section is also in the range of input. So basically we done it on incomes also and export and imports also. So basically now we have got the data set that look like this. Earlier it does look like this one. So this is so much cluttered values here. Now also clutter, but it is still spreaded more. So we took cluster 6. So 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 and cluster predicted. Now we have this one. So model, we already have now our label, and a kmeans gave us this cluster as a label to our data set. Now using that label we can do decision tree to classify into which cluster this it belong. So like x, we know all the features from like country, all the features, from like country, child mortality, export till GDP, and cluster is a label variable that is in a y. So trend test split data at 20% and 80%. We create decision tree model not fit and y pred accuracy also. As accuracy between y test and y prediction, that is 88%. So like it's very good. I hope it's not overfitting, but let's see. Yeah, it's not overfitting. It's basically overfitting, I think. But let's go forward. This is the confusion matrix, like 0 1 2 3 4 5 5 clusters. It classify really good. I i think we should have put the level max depth of the tree, but okay. KM clusters are total 6 clusters, so these are 6 centers of the 6 cluster. So I have correctly done this time all the 6 cluster and 6 data points for the cluster, like 0 df1 1 df2, like that, and gave color also to each cluster. So these are cluster 1 1 yellow, 2 green, 3 pink, yellow 5, and this black one is 6. So yeah, it is correctly done. Now sum of squared errors, like the error between the data points, sum of square error. So yeah, what is the error? The sum of square error used for calculating elbow method basically, and we plot the k value and sum squared error. So this, the number of k values and number of errors. At one point it really curves pattern. So I think 5 is the correct one. We took 6. If we took 5, then it will classify more accurately. Here I think it is uh, one cluster is additional. So like 1 2 3 4 and 4, this should be 4 and this can be 5. But yeah, that's the experiment. Thank you.